Paranormal Andy and Phantom Dark Dave. The Screaming Skull Podcast.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to a brand new episode of the Screaming Skull Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Phantom Dark Dave.
And I'm Abnormal Andy.
Andy, recently we did top 5 wrestling moves. Now, be honest with me. As soon as that episode ended, did you start jumping off your bed doing swanton bombs?
Maybe.
Did your wife appreciate it?
No.
I'm tagging you in. Let's go. But oh man, that was a lot of fun. I know Julie liked that episode, and I didn't plan it this way, but we just passed what was it? SummerSlam weekend, which was a 2-night event. So not only did I record that top 5 wrestling moves episode with you, then we had the wrestling pay-per-view, and then today we're talking about a wrestling movie. There's just a whole bunch of wrestling going on.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it would be fun to watch a pay-per-view. Or I've been thinking about watching some wrestling sometimes because we have Netflix, and Monday Night Raw is on, or Raw, whatever it's called now, is on Netflix now. So I thought about checking it out, but I haven't yet.
All right, so this is confession time. We only watch the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, yes, we can't watch Raw because Raw is now on Netflix, and we actually are probably some of the only folks in the world who don't have Netflix over here. But the reality is, even though Raw and like SmackDown could have really good episodes, a lot of it sometimes just feels like filler till you get to the pay-per-views. But if nothing else, the pay-per-views always give you like flashbacks of what you missed. And so you kind of get a little bit of all of it. So that, and Peacock is one of the cheapest apps to subscribe to, and you get all the pay-per-views. So there you go.
Oh, wow. So they're all the pay-per-views are on Peacock. That's cool.
All the pay-per-views and all the SmackDowns, man. All of it's on there.
Wow.
So
yeah, I mean, the only reason that we have Netflix is because we get it through T-Mobile, our cell service. We get like the basic package through that. So
okay.
I'm assuming that Raw is on the basic package because there's some things that are not on the basic.
I remember my mind was blown when you told me that.
Yeah.
You're like, some movies aren't available. I was like, what?
But yeah,
okay.
so yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it was a fun episode. It was a little departure for us, but it was really fun to talk about that stuff. Brought some good memories to the surface, and I'm excited to talk about this movie today. I mean, some people, I think this is kind of one of those, I don't know if it's a diamond in the rough, but it's definitely one that a lot of people may not know about. So it's going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah, some people might just call it rough,
Oh,
because
yeah.
some people who have seen it haven't told me the best things about it. But I have fond memories of this movie, and that's kind of why I brought it up. Is that I paired together some of the wrestling themes, but in reality, this movie came out in 2006. I owned it on DVD just because I was like, "Oh, Rey Mysterio's dad's in this movie." Wrestlemaniac. That sounds awesome. I'm gonna watch it, and I watched it, and I had not watched it again. So it's been almost 19 years since I've seen it. Have you ever seen it or heard of it before today?
Uh, I had not watched, I've heard of it. I was aware of the movie, but I thought just seeing the cover, I actually thought it was Rey Mysterio Jr. that was in the movie. I didn't realize it was Mysterio Sr. that was in the movie. So before we talked about it before the last episode, I was expecting Rey Mysterio Jr. to be in it, which would have been kind of cool. But anyway, yeah. So I knew about the movie. I had never seen it up until this point. And then when we agreed to do it for this episode, I watched it for this episode. And
Not easily, huh? It doesn't stream anywhere for free. You got to rent it.
Yeah, it was like $2 on Amazon, so that wasn't a big. I mean, that's pretty cheap. So
You know what's really funny is you told me because you gave it the rewatch on Amazon, and so I thought I still owned the DVD because I used to, and I had since then gotten rid of it, sadly. So then I was like, oh shit, I picked a movie that I don't have, and so I had to go onto Amazon to rent it, and lo and behold, it was $1.99, but for some reason it was free for me. So I don't know
wow,
why I
that's
had
cool.
like a $2 coupon, but no complaints. It was awesome, and so I got to watch it.
Yeah, sometimes Amazon have those weird little credits that like $2 or whatever. Yeah.
Awesome. So before we get into the movie, you want to cover some horror news?
Yeah, let's get into some news.
Horror News.
Are you familiar with Chris Stuckman from YouTube?
No, I don't think so.
So he's like a reviewer. He's a pretty popular movie reviewer on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. He does a lot of horror movies, but he does like just general. I think he does a lot of different movies, but he's kind of like uh anyway, he's a well-known YouTuber. But he made a movie and it's like going to be like a found footage horror movie, which I'm really excited about. And it's called Shelby Oaks. That's the name of the title of the movie. And they put out the trailer for it. So this movie has taken a long time to make though, because actually they had filmed it and there was some setbacks due to budget and editing. But and I guess this guy's kind of perfectionist, so I think he like was determined to give it give his viewers a quality and creepy film experience. So now 4 years later, after it was announced, it's finally time to release it to the public. And he's the first trailer was released on August 6th. And so in the film, a woman's desperate search for her long lost sister falls into obsession upon realizing that the imaginary demon from their childhood may have been real. So some critics have already seen the movie at Fantasia this year. I guess that's a film festival. And they were mildly impressed, but they still gave it a good score just because Stuckman had poured his heart and soul into the debut film. IndieWire gave it a B minus. So according to IndieWire, in March, Shelby Oaks spent roughly $1 million to head back to Ohio, where they added scenes with more blood and gore. So they did some reshoots. They spent $1 million to actually do reshoots. So I don't know what the original budget was, but if they added $1 million to it, that seems kind of crazy. But
That says a lot, but it is a found footage. So
yeah, so this movie's getting a theatrical release on October 3rd. So I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I'm a found footage junkie. You know, Chris Stuckman. Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos here and there. I'm not like a strong follower of his or anything, but just the fact that he made a horror movie, his first movie was a horror movie and found footage, I'm definitely there. You know, it's ticking all the right boxes for me. So I'm gonna definitely try to go see in the theater, especially since I'm an A-lister now at AMC.
yeah, you are. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, so I don't have any excuses. Yeah, so what do you think about this? Are you gonna go check it out?
Depends, man, because Julie likes found footage, but if there's too much of the motion stuff, she gets the motion sickness. And so if she's not going to go, then I may or may not go. Just depends.
Yeah.
But, it's really funny because literally, I promise you today, Ed the Undead's like, hey, have you ever heard of Shelby Oaks? And I looked at him.
Uh,
He's like, it's a movie. And I was like, no. And then today you brought it to my attention, so that's actually kind of funny. He's going to hear this and laugh too. But
yeah, yeah.
I'm with you, man. I'm not as much of a found footage junkie as you, but I'm enough to hold those conversations with you. So I do appreciate them. I do like them, and I don't know. After this episode, I'll probably check out a trailer and let you know.
All right.
But props to anybody making a movie. That shit's not easy to do. And so just hearing that he took 4 years to make it, I just respect the hell out of it that he cares about it and got it done. So good for him. He probably found out that making a movie is harder to edit than a YouTube video. So naturally, right?
Yeah, probably so.
But I want to tell you about some movies that did recently come out. I got three of them I want to bring to your attention because they're all 4K steelbooks. Here we go. Ghost of Mars is finally getting a 4K steelbook, and
All right.
I think you and I are in that small club that just really love that movie just for how batshit crazy it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, John Carpenter, Ice Cube, oh that chick from
Natasha
Species. Yeah,
Henstridge,
Natasha Henstridge, Jason Statham. I mean, it's got all the names that you're looking
Clea
for. And
Duvall, right?
Clea Duvall, yeah. I mean, it's got a
Yeah,
lot of cool names in it. It's action, it's
Pam Grier,
horror.
can't forget that.
Pam Grier, yeah, yeah. It's got a little bit of everything, action, sci-fi, horror. It's got some body snatcher stuff going on, which I really like. Yeah, so yeah, definitely excited for that one. I'm curious what special features are going to be on it.
Yeah, for me, love the movie and love the soundtrack. If you've never checked out that soundtrack, I think I've talked about it before, but it has like a hard guitar soundtrack. It's really good.
Yeah, cool. All right.
And another one that we love, Late Night with the Devil, getting the 4K steelbook.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool.
It's funny hearing it because I was like, I would have assumed that would have already existed, but I judge these releases on Blu-ray.com, so I'm guessing it
Yeah,
just got it.
man. David Das Malchin, he can like do no wrong. Like the more I learn about the guy, the more I like him. Of course, he's from Kansas City, so
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so
Wink,
that's
wink.
always
I get it.
cool. But yeah, yeah, he seems like a really cool guy. He does some cool. He's like definitely has roots in horror, and he's not afraid to like stick in horror and just do some cool stuff there.
That's awesome. So he's got some upcoming things, I guess.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the new Dexter Resurrection series,
Nice.
and he's got like a comic book that he wrote, which is really cool. He's got like a this little talk show called Grave Conversations where him and his guests are in caskets and they talk about it's like a talk show,
That's
but
awesome.
they lay in caskets while they talk. So
What a
yeah,
horror
yeah,
nerd. I love it.
he's a cool guy.
That's awesome. All right. And the last one I'm going to tell you is The Strangers, is getting a 4K steelbook. So not the not the newer ones of the sequels, but the original one.
Oh, okay, cool. The one with Liv. Oh crap, what's
Tyler.
her? Liv Tyler. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
see,
knew
that's
the
why we do this podcast, bro. You say the first name, I got the last name.
yeah. So I knew that Steve and Tyler. I was gonna say Stephen Austin, but that wasn't right. Steven
Oh, see, you
Tyler.
got the wrestling on the brain. That's
Yeah.
perfect. All right, question for you. Ghost of Mars, Late Night with the Devil, The Strangers. Which one's your favorite?
Okay, so it's gonna be down to Ghost of Mars or Late Night with the Devil. I would probably say I'd probably have to give it to Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's great. All right, so I think we've talked about it, but I really like Jordan Peele. He's got some cool stuff that he's done. He's done Get Out, Us, Nope, which I really like Nope. So Jordan Peele and Monkey Paw Productions, they dropped a new trailer for their upcoming film Him today. It's a story of fame and idolatry. It opens theatrically on September 19th. Peele did not direct the film. That job went to Justin Tipping, a director who's usually behind the camera for television. So Him tells the story of former college wide receiver Tyreek Withers from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay, we've just seen that movie. This guy, he plays Cameron Cade, a rising quarterback who has devoted his life and identity to football. On the eve of professional football's annual scouting combine, Cam is attacked by an unhinged fan and suffers a potentially career-ending brain trauma. Just when all seems lost, Cam receives a lifeline when his hero, Isaiah White, played by Marlon Wayans, a legendary 8-time championship quarterback and cultural megastar, offers to train Cam at Isaiah's isolated compound that he shares with his celebrity influencer wife, Elsie White, played by Julia Fox, from Uncut Gems and No Sudden Move. But as Cam's training accelerates, Isaiah's charisma begins to curdle into something darker, sending his protege down a disorienting rabbit hole that may cost him more than he ever bargained for. So again, Him opens theatrically on September 19th. Definitely going to be keeping my eye out on that one. I have not watched the trailer yet, so I'm going to check that out. But I'm expecting good things because it's Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I've actually seen the trailer. They played it when we saw I Know What You Did Last Summer. And so
Oh,
that was
okay.
really cool. And the trailer has everything that you want, that you expect from anything that Jordan Peele is tied to. But I was baffled to learn not only is he not directing, he didn't write it either. It's just a production.
Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
is
Well,
it really going to feel like a Jordan Peele movie? The trailer says
yeah,
yes, but we'll have to wait and see.
we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that whole people say Jordan Peele's Candyman, that remake, but that wasn't
Yep.
his movie. That was,
He only wrote it.
yeah, Nia
Yeah.
DaCosta directed it.
Yep.
Yeah, so who knows? I think, if he's behind it, it's going to be a quality film no matter what. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I haven't seen anything that he's attached to that I didn't like, but I wouldn't be too far from it if I did say that we are still like eagerly waiting his next directorial film, which I think was pushed until next year. But man, it looks like it's actually happening. And so for him, I have learned that it's worth the wait. So,
Yeah.
but again, I did see that trailer. It does look good. You should watch it after this and let me know.
Yeah.
Andy, I wanted to do something a little different. Usually I talk about movies that are in theater and budgets and whatnot. And there are a couple of horror movies out right now, but I'd only seen one of them, so I didn't want to talk about too much. But I wanted to get a little creative. So we're in the year 2025, right?
Hmm.
So I thought, well, what was going on 100 years ago? I did something like this similar on our Halloween episode. And, it hit me pretty hard. I was like, oh, 1925. I know exactly something that happened in 1925. Let's focus on that. And so, 100 years ago, man, we got the first film adaptation of The Phantom of the Opera, the
Oh,
silent
snap.
film.
All
Yeah,
right.
with Lon Chaney Sr. and Mary Philbin, based on a book written in 1910. Andy, before I go any further, have you seen that movie?
Yes, that's now I think that's the one where like yeah, Lon Chaney. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that one because it's
Okay.
the one where they
Okay.
unmask him and he has the traditional
Yes.
Phantom look. To yes, yes, I've seen that one. It's great.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I want to ask you about four other movies. And so, for the purpose of this conversation, I'm only sticking to the actual horror movies. But the first adaptation, 1925, we've both seen it. Since then, there have been several other iterations of it, including Phantom of the Opera from 1943, which had Claude Rains in it. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have seen that one. Yeah,
What did you think of it?
I thought it was okay. I think I liked the original more.
Agreed. I think the original is the best by far. The Claude Rains one was kind of interesting because it wasn't the one I saw next, but I was taken by it in a okay kind of way because I was surprised that it had musical numbers in it where the original didn't.
Yeah, that's right. It did have more of a musical kind of style, or it was structured like a musical, like you said. So I think that almost took away from kind of the horror vibe, but it was a decent flick, though.
And it explains why it became a Broadway musical later, I'm assuming. So,
Yeah.
take it for what it is. But all right, moving on. 1962, there's a version I really like because it was directed by Terrence Fisher and it shares some of the similarities of the 43 version, but it takes out the musical numbers and it's actually really, really good. I said it was directed by Terrence Fisher. He did a lot of Hammer horror films. And in my opinion, it's better than the 43 version. Have you seen it? It was 1962.
No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I mean, Hammer horror is such a gap in my horror knowledge. I really need to do like a dive into Hammer horror sometime.
I just need to schedule it on the show and then you'll have no excuse.
That's true. That's true. Yep.
That one, take it, but it is so good. Like, take my word for it, it's so good. And two other ones I want to ask you about: 1989, Phantom of the Opera, starring Robert England.
Oh yeah, I have seen that one.
I've seen it one time, and I really don't remember it, but I think I remember not caring for it. What do you remember?
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I don't remember too much about it either. I remember like the kind of the makeup effects that he had, which are pretty cool. But yeah, I don't remember too much about it either. But I remember thinking it's decent.
Okay, yeah,
Uh,
I was actually shocked. I know I had seen it, but when I was doing the research for this, I was shocked that it was 1989. For some reason, I thought it was a lot more like 96 or something.
oh yeah, it does. It definitely has that 90s feel to it, I feel like.
Yeah, because 89, that would have been around the time as like Nightmare on Elm Street 5. And so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. And last one I'll ask you about is from 1998, and it's, of course, Dario Argento's Phantom of the Opera. Have you seen that one?
No, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Is that another gap for you? Some of the Dario films?
I've seen quite a number of I mean, yeah, Italian cinema. I mean, I've seen all the big names like Deep Red.
You've seen like
Uh
all his Giallo movies, probably.
well, I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen the bigger the no I've seen the more well-known ones like I said like Deep Red, but I haven't seen like Opera or I think I might have seen Bird with the Crystal Plumage, but I haven't seen like Four Flies on Gray Velvet, stuff like that.
That's
I
it. I'm scheduling them all. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, so good. But I'm a really big Dario Argento fan, but this is not one of his stronger movies. The movie's okay. Um, his daughter plays the main character
Of
role, and
course.
then the Phantom is played by Julian Sands, which, rest in peace.
Oh,
He's
nice.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but the movie just, it's a little awkward because she's obviously like lip singing the opera roles, and
And probably gets topless.
there's a lot of gratuitous nudity, yeah, mixed in, which Italians love that. I hope we don't get canceled by Italian people. But the movie's not one of his best. But as far as a Phantom of the Opera movie, it's just okay. For my favorite versions, I'm going to give it to the 1925, and I highly recommend the 1962 Hammer Horror. Check that one out.
All right, cool. Yeah.
So that's all I got. Back to you.
Here's a fun article I found. Spirit Halloween, they've got some new stuff that they're bringing to the table this year. We're already seeing Spirit Halloween's popping up. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing them popping up already. So they are debuting a new animatronic. It's going to be their first ever Jack the Reaper animatronic. It's basically like their mascot, like when you look at the sign, the just Jack the Reaper, that's that Grim Reaper
Okay.
dude that you see in the sign. So they made an animatronic out of that guy. So that's pretty cool. I guess the stores are becoming more of like an immersive experience now. It's been a while since I've actually been inside of Spirit Halloween, but it seems like they really are up in their game. So the animatronic costs $300.
Wow. Meanwhile, groceries cost like $400.
Right, right. Okay, so they got some cool new stuff that they're featuring. They actually have an NES game that they're putting out. That's kind of cool. It's called Haunted Halloween 86
What?
Spirit Edition NES game. It's a limited edition retro side scroller game where players team up to save Halloween, dodge pumpkins, and battle through Possum Hollow, even facing off with Jack the Reaper himself. So it's going to be available as both a physical collector's edition, a custom box cartridge and manual included, and a digital download. Okay. They're going to have a collector's edition spirit version of Jenga. They're going to have a Spirit Halloween Monopoly. That sounds pretty cool. And they're going to have a 12-foot Jack the Reaper inflatable. They're going to have another hanging prop that you can like put on your ceiling for Jack the Reaper, a Jack the Reaper kids costume, and a coloring book. So they
Do
have
you think enough people know who Jack the Reaper is, though? Like, is it that recognizable?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really realize like if I just heard the name Jack the Reaper and Spirit Halloween, I wouldn't think of like the little dude that's on their logo or whatever, but
Right.
that's who it is. And I guess it makes sense for them to do something, some kind of merchandise with that guy, because he is their mascot now, I guess.
Yeah, I've been in a Spirit Halloween once in the last 5 years, and I
Yeah.
know some screamers are probably like, "What the hell, dude? We're horror." And like, yes, we are, but I just don't invest a lot into the decorations that Spirit has. I'm more about like movie posters and stuff. So
Yeah, and I think it seems like they're kind of branching out somewhat, into some other things besides like just like horror movie memorabilia type stuff, like just different stuff.
and
That's
he's like,
like
"Yeah, they're actually they're gonna start carrying movie posters," and I'm like, "I'm there. Let's go."
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So I'm excited. I may have to go check out a Halloween Spirit store this season.
If you do take some pictures, we'll throw it on the TikTok, bro.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You ready to get into our main event today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
The main event.
Lucha Libre is a combat sport. Masked men with immeasurable strength. But one of them has been forgotten.
We got ourselves the daddy-o of all locations.
Until now.
It's La Sangre de Dios. It's where they put El Mascarado after he went crazy. He's the best Mexican wrestler of all time.
Hey guys!
I don't think we're alone.
Jumbo?
Go, go, go. He follows the rules.
What?
He follows the rules of wrestling. We have got to take his mask off. We're gonna retire that son of a bitch tonight.
In his ring. By his rules. Prepare yourself for a face-off. Wrestlemaniac. The legend is real.
All right, Andy, let's talk about WrestleManiac 2006. When I was describing this movie to Julie, let me know if I did a good job. I said, if Texas Chainsaw Massacre, X, Hatchet, and Three from Hell had a baby, this would be the baby's cousin.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, you said Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Rob Zombie, X.
X
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Hatchet.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That definitely matches up. Yeah, because you got the sleeves, you got the gore, you've got kind of the
The grit and
backwoods.
grime.
You got that one dude from House of a Thousand Corpses, the guy that played
Yeah.
crap.
Erwin Keys.
Yeah, Erwin Keys. Yeah, yeah. He was instantly
Yes.
recognizable too. I thought it was. Did you know that he was also in the original Friday the 13th movie?
I think I remember reading it, but I can't picture it. Was he
Yeah. So it was at the beginning whenever Annie, the first girl
uh-huh.
that was supposed to be the cook, that she's like the first victim.
Yeah.
She goes into that diner to try to hitch a ride to the camp, and Erwin Keys is like somebody behind the counter. He's like a cook or something.
Oh, that's awesome. Now I'm gonna look
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. I saw a screenshot. It's like, oh, that is him, but he's like way younger, so it's kind of hard to notice. But
You're like way younger, but still looks the same.
yeah,
Very like Michael Berryman, where he just has that kind of face. You recognize it from anywhere.
yeah, definitely for sure.
Cool, man. Well, let's dive into this thing. We opened up with a woman who's running out of a building and she's screaming, she's covered in blood, and then we get the title card of the film and we get our opening credits to the backdrop of some footage of Mexican wrestling. What did you think about this for some opening credits?
Yeah, I was wondering, is this like footage from Rey Mysterio Sr.'s matches or something, or was this
I
something they
would
just?
assume so.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of a little historical piece if they like took actual footage. I like it.
Yeah, I would. I could not believe if they would shot it for this film. I think it is archive footage because some of it's like black and white, some of it has like that sepia tone or whatever. But
Yeah,
I got to be honest, when it was playing it, I just felt like it was getting me in the mood for this movie. Like it really worked.
yeah, it had the Mexican style music, and so yeah, it's kind of getting you into the luchador kind of
Yeah,
feel there. Yeah.
which WWE has teamed up with another faction. I forgot the acronym they use, but a lot of luchadors and stuff, and so that's been kind of blending a lot more heavily into WWE, and it's been freaking awesome.
Cool, yeah.
But if anybody listened to our top 5 wrestling moves episode, they know I'm a big fan of somebody specific. But we'll move past it. Andy, we get to meet our cast of characters who are they're traveling in a van, very reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We get 6 people. Here we go. We get Alphonse, who is our sleazy first-time director who educates us on what a dirty Sanchez is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew, but he's there to tell you about it. And we get Steve, also known as Fats. He's our cameraman and our wrestling fanatic of the group. We get Jimbo, a stoner who just kind of lent his van to be used, and he came along for the ride. And then we get our 3 girls in the movie. We get Debbie, Dallas, and Daisy, who are all small-time actresses who are trying to make it big. And I don't mean Hollywood. we also
Yeah.
know that Debbie and Jimbo are both brother and sister. And then Daisy is the one who's passed out on the floor of the van. How about these for some characters?
Yeah, it's funny when I saw Alphonse, I was like, man, that looks like Eli Roth. Like if he'd grown his hair out.
Does.
I
Yes.
thought I had to look it up. I was like, is that Eli Roth? And but no, it wasn't. But I didn't really recognize anybody else. I guess Dallas, she had been on, was it Let's Make a Deal, something like that? One of those
Yes.
game
I
shows,
mean, I
yeah.
can't say I recognized her from it, but I did read
Yeah.
that too. It's like,
I
oh, she held this briefcase all the time. And I had to
yeah.
think back to when I used to take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese. I'm like, is she on the game? Because I
Oh
used to play that game.
yeah. But
But
yeah, I mean, no, it was it kind of reminded me of X, kind of had this mixture like
yep.
the guy that was kind of in charge, you had the on-screen talent, you had some of the behind the scenes people there too. They were fine for, they're perfect fodder to be killed later on.
Exactly. Like you kind of know what you're getting into, and it sets it up really well. I'm totally on board for something like this because I talked about all those movies being traits of this movie. Well, guess what? I love all those movies, so it's perfect. And it continues with those traits. We get the casual cliche of they're driving on a dirt road, they're checking the map, they're lost, and they stumble upon a rundown gas station, which always means that a horror movie's in for a good time.
Yeah, when they said, "Oh, there's a gas station, let's pull in there," I was thinking, "Okay, there's a gas station." But when they show it to you, this is like some rundown old falling down building. It's like there's no way there's anything in this place or any gas or anything.
Oh yeah, I doubt there's a register in there. It looked like a shack, dude. But
Yeah.
a budget is what a budget is, and Debbie convinces him to stop because she needs to use the bathroom. And so she starts banging on the door of this gas station. And that's when Erwin Keyes opens up wearing a Diablo Negro luchador mask. Debbie, she has to go to the outhouse because they don't actually have a bathroom. It's an outhouse. And Erwin Keyes gives us directions to La Sangra de Dios, which is a ghost town where nobody has lived for 40 years. But it happens to be home of an old Mexican legend where El Mascarado vanished to. And as you mentioned, Erwin Keyes is from House of a Thousand Corpses. So this is a pretty interesting scene.
Yeah, we get we get Erwin Keyes, but then we get a little backstory. We get a little lore dump, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so we kind of hear about it. And then, of course, the fat guy.
Fats.
He is, Fats. He is very familiar with the whole story, so he kind of expands on it for his friends there.
He does. He lets us know that three of the best Mexican wrestlers had vanished, and El Mascarado is basically a Frankenstein monster of all their bodies, creating the best wrestler of all time. But Andy, apparently, he went crazy and started killing his opponents, and so they sent him to the town of La Sangra del Dios to fix him, but he was never heard from again.
Yeah, kind of mysterious, and yeah, so they don't.
Mysterious, get it? Mysterio, I get it.
Oh yeah. So, but Alfonso, when he hears about this, he thinks it's going to be a great shooting location, so he wants to go there and film.
He does, and then wouldn't you know, they hit a large rock on the road, and the van just so happens to die right at the entry gate of La Sangra de Dios. And this is why I mentioned the Three from Hell, is because the small town aesthetic of this Mexican town it looks identical.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Have you seen Three from Hell?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay, no spoilers then. But yeah, Three from Hell eventually has a setting that looks just like this, and I'm not saying it's the same one, but it'll definitely give you vibes.
Yeah, it definitely, had this Hills Have Eyes, Rob Zombie kind of feel to it. Just, yeah, the setting, I really like the old, like, ghost town. It's kind of creepy. They use really good, like, they have, like, the dark doorways. You just never know what's, like, gonna be here. So I really like that. It was a great setting for the movie.
Yeah, and it gives you vibes of, like, old Westerns and whatnot.
Yeah, did you notice the name on one of the buildings?
Tell me.
There was a Voorhees was written on one of the buildings.
Oh, there you
So
go.
you know that
Little
they're
Jason
giving
Love.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, now it's time to get to the sleazy part of the film where it's time to make a porno in a small bar, and the ladies need a plumber.
Yeah. Yeah, this is funny. And then Daisy finally wakes up and she walks in.
Yeah, and she's going to participate, and
Yep.
We get a little bit of scene. It's not showing too much, but we do see that Daisy gets sick, and then she has to run out of the bar, and so she walks down this dirt path, and she happens to cut her foot on, I guess it looks like some broken pottery or something, but she sits down to remove the broken piece, and then Andy, she gets killed off screen.
Yeah, the first kill's off screen, which is a little disappointing, but that's okay because they're just saving it for.
I was gonna say, were you getting worried? Like, oh no, what kind of movie is this gonna be?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
The budget's showing itself, but back at the bar, the plumber, he done snaked his drain, so our sex scene is over, and Jimbo stumbles in, and he's like, "Where's Daisy?" Because apparently Daisy's holding his weed, and Fats, he's recording everything, of course, so he goes back and he's watching the footage on the camera, but when he sees that the part where Daisy walked outside, he noticed there was a shadow of somebody, and that shadow chased after her.
Yeah, that's something that's kind of interesting. They use some good that shadow work in this. You see this little creepy shadow in the video, and I like that. I kind of like that.
I do too. Like, I'm not praising the cinematography of the movie, but at the same time I am, because there's some unique choices that are made that really gives this movie probably more flair than it deserves, and I really appreciate it. And I'll say Ric Flair. Just
yeah, add a little atmosphere to the movie.
It does. And so now, Daisy's gone, so Jimbo wants his weed, so he's going to leave to find Daisy, but instead he finds El Mascarado. But Andy, of course, all we see is a pair of arms that just grab him by the neck and lift him up. And so now here we are, essentially second kill, but we've seen nothing.
I did like the setup though, because like he's kind of walking down this deserted road, and he comes up to this building, and I think he finds the bag of weed. That's when he stops and
he
picks
does.
it
It's
up.
on the floor. Yeah.
and he sees this doorway. It's like completely dark, and you don't know what's there. It's the camera kind of zooms in on the doorway, and you know we're getting kind of set up for some kind of jump scare, and then this arm shoots out of the darkness and grabs him. I thought that was a cool shot. I'll give him props for that.
It gives me, I got to stop saying vibes. I noticed I said vibes like 3 times already. It reminds me of going to a haunted house where it's all dark and then the
Oh
animatronic
yeah,
pops out at you with the arms reached out. That's, yeah.
yep. But
All
yeah,
right.
like you said, we get another off-screen kill, but then we do see the guy here pretty soon.
We do, yeah. But at this point, I was like 2 for 2. I was like, oh, come on, give me something. But the rest of the group, they go back to the van. But guess what? The van doesn't start. But we find out that Dallas, she's more than just a pair of tits on legs, using her words exactly. She happens to know a thing or two about cars because her dad was a mechanic. So they're giving her a little bit of backstory here, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, give her a little brains. So that's nice.
Yeah. Well, Debbie goes off to look for Jimbo, and then Fats and Alphonse go to look after her. And so we got this essential situation where everybody's leaving, and from out of nowhere, all the lights on the small town kind of come on, and they hear the sound of something that sounds like a pipe that's being dragged on the concrete. Andy, I don't know about you, but that sound always took me back to like my childhood as a kid, like playing on playgrounds and stuff. I feel like we always heard that sound.
Oh yeah, dragging the bat across the ground.
Yeah, little did we know we were being stalked by, psychotic luchador, huh?
Yeah, it could have been, especially where I grew up. Nah.
Well, meanwhile, Dallas, she's working on the van, and of course, she's got her headphones on now. I didn't see what she was jamming out there, but we all know that she's doing this just because she doesn't hear all her friends that are about to get killed.
Yeah, this is kind of leading up to some pretty gruesome kills.
Finally, right? And so let's talk about it. Debbie, she goes into one of the small houses and she finds Jimbo dead, but with his face removed. And then so she screams, which allows Fats and Alphonse to find her. And they see too that his face, Jimbo's face has been ripped off. And that's when Fats fills us in about some Mexican wrestling customs. So pretty cool
Yeah.
aesthetics.
Yeah. We actually get some decent effects here, and we find out that it's custom for the loser of a luchador match to have his mask removed. The winner takes his mask off. So we kind of see a version of that in this movie.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Jimbo lost, huh? He got his mask
Yeah,
removed.
I would say so. Yep.
And it's practical and it looks good. I totally appreciated it. But, Alphonse sees this, right? And he decides he's had enough. He says, fuck this. And he ducks out. And when he goes to leave, he actually crosses paths with El Mascarado. So this is the first time that we actually see him. And so he closes the door and he's trying to prop it shut. El Mascarado is beating on the door, trying to come in. Fats and Debbie go to help him. And I laughed out loud when this scene happened. So you got to picture this. So you have Alphonse, he's holding the door shut. You have Fats and Debbie who go to assist him. And so they're also holding the door shut. But then Alphonse decides he's going to leave and let them hold the door shut. He hauls ass out of there.
Oh yeah, he
He pulls that jerk card real quick. He leaves. He finds a small church where he bolts himself inside and he starts sniffing cocaine. But little does he know, El Mascarado doesn't like people who do drugs in church, man. He comes through the back door and he grabs Alphonse and pushes him throat first on a big rusty nail. And I'm not referring to Joyride. He tosses him through some pews. He starts slamming his face on a ledge until Alphonse's teeth burst out. Alfonso crawls outside to a graveyard, but he ain't going to rest in peace because El Mascarado follows him. And Andy, he rips his face off, and we finally see it, and it's great.
Yeah, and this kill was really, really brutal. I mean, he just didn't hold back with Alphonse. He was throwing him around. He was, smashing his head into the corners of the wall and knocking his teeth out. And it was like, wow, it's pretty crazy. And then we get the face peel to top it off.
Yeah, man. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, okay, cool. This definitely had build up to it. And I like what they did with him like bailing on his friends last minute because it made you just hate him enough to go, all right, kill this motherfucker. And then they did.
Yeah.
Debbie and Fats, they leave, they hide in another building. And while they're there, Debbie, she's like scraping off the dirt and the rust on a window. And so that way she can see, like, kind of like keep a lookout. But Fats, he finds some boxes and they're marked with like El Mascarado and they say classified. And so he opens them up, and inside the box, he finds like old reel to reel players and the reel to reels. And so luckily he knew how to do this, but he's able to kind of string them up and start listening. And dude, I don't know about you, but I was getting some like Session 9 vibes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind
And
of a cool way to kind of give us a little bit more lore to it.
yeah, we learned that El Mascarado's only objective is to destroy anyone who enters the wrestling ring. And Andy, I mean, essentially, this is something that you see in like movies where they create super soldiers. We're hearing all about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a super wrestler.
Super wrestler. But, you talked about before how El Mascarado is ripping, people's faces off the way that losers in wrestling get their masks ripped off. Well, I think this is when they put two and two together and they realized to defeat him, all we have to do is remove his mask. But I'm assuming it's going to be easier said than done.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. I mean, because Rey Mysterio Sr., he's a big guy.
He's much bigger than Junior.
Yeah, when you compare the two, it's like night and day. I don't know what happened, but
Takes after his mom. No.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, see where, Rey Mysterio Jr. is a very like high flyer type wrestler, where El Mascarado here, played by Rey Mysterio Sr., he's very bulky. Like he seems like the guy that's going to pick you up and slam you down.
Yeah, definitely do some choke holds there.
That's
or
right.
Choke slams. That's what I meant to say.
He busts through the door and they run to this back room and it's pitch black. Fats, he's running his hands along the wall. He finds a light switch, and when he turns it on, the light comes on, and we get a really cool slow motion reveal of a bloody room that has faces mounted on the wall. Probably my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Oh yeah, there was like so many faces stuck on the wall. It's like it really reminded that really gives you the Texas Chainsaw Massacre feeling, with Leatherface and then they find out it's a wrestling ring right there in that room. So it's kind of like Mascarado's like little wrestling.
It's like his lair
room.
or something.
Yeah,
right?
his lair.
It's
Yeah.
definitely something he put together, because it's just a whole bunch of ropes that are fastened around these 4 barrels, where each barrel represents a turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah.
El Mascarado's like, get the fuck out of my room, right? So he's trying to burst in, and that's when Fat realizes this is time, man. This is what he must do. And we didn't mention this earlier, but in the scene with Erwin Keys, Fats revealed that he also carried a luchador mask in his pocket. So in this scene, he pulls a mask out and he slowly puts it on, and he is going to throw down with El Mascarado. It has great buildup, but disappointing execution. Andy, we don't get to see it.
No, because I think the camera follows Debbie as she's trying to get out of the room, and you just hear Steve or Fats getting wrestling with El Mascarado, and you just kind of hear the wrestling match. You don't actually get to see much of it.
Right. It's so disappointing because it had such a great buildup. And so, I have learned, though, when the movie disappoints me with something, they usually make up for it later. So I'm going to cross my fingers that that's happened. And so, yeah, the camera, it leaves the room, it goes outside the room. And like you said, all we hear is the commotion. The door's open. Debbie's crawling out and she's screaming. But El Mascarado grabs her by the legs and he pulls her back into the room. This part's really cool because what he does is he like takes a knee, he lifts her up, and then he pushes her down over his knee, so much so that he basically does a backbreaker on her and he snaps her spine and drops her.
Yeah, isn't this what Bane does to Batman?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that. I was like, that's that kind of move. But yeah, so Debbie is immobilized.
Yeah, and I would have assumed that Fats was dead because of how they did this. I thought maybe we would have got an off-screen kill, but we don't. Fats shows us he's not dead. He rises up from the floor and he charges at El Mascarado, and I'm thinking, man, this guy makes really poor choices. And but this time, El Mascarado attacks him and beats him, and we see this. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he paralyzes him because he does some moves to him, and he El Mascarado. We talked about being a big guy. Well, that doesn't stop him from being a high flyer because he actually climbs up on one of those turnbuckles and he does a splash on him. And I really appreciated the continuous wrestling moves, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and then he, like you said, I think he breaks Fat's neck, so he can't. He can. I think he just can't walk because later on he can move his arms still because later on we see him use his hand. But yeah, he just kind of immobilizes him. I think, okay, so he's just gonna take off his mask, right? No, wrong.
Wrong, man. And so he actually leaves Fats and walks over to Debbie. And while Debbie is still alive,
Yeah.
rips her face off, and Fats has to watch in terror. And that was brutal as hell.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's yeah. I mean, this movie really goes for it.
Doesn't pull punches, huh?
No.
Well, we talked about Dallas working on the van. She actually got the van fixed, which is awesome because I don't know shit about working on vehicles. So I was already like, yeah, go Dallas. And so, and I live in Dallas, so go figure. Actually, that sounds terrible. I shouldn't say that, right? I've never been in Dallas, I promise. I don't know her. But Dallas, she pulls up in the van. And so she starts looking for the group. And as she starts walking through the bar that we were at earlier, we actually get to see Daisy's body laying in the grass with her face removed. And so we get a little closure. We know what happened to our off-screen kill of the movie.
Yeah, we finally get to see Daisy, the aftermath there.
Yep, and it works. And then, El Mascarado, he grabs a lead pipe and he starts dragging it on the ground, showing us that sound that we heard earlier. And so he starts to chase Dallas. And I talked about this being the sound that we heard as kids growing up. This also gave me the same type of feeling of when Freddy Krueger drags his knifey claws, across the wall.
Yep.
Stalking his prey, right?
Yeah.
We get a pretty cool cat and mouse scene, dude. There's a scene with a school bus, and I really like this because she is taking shelter in the school bus, and the camera's inside the school bus with her, but we see through the windows outside that El Mascarado is stalking her, and then he starts breaking all the windows with his pipe, which is really terrifying. It's really good. But then he reaches in and he grabs her by the hair, and she's showing her that she's a pretty smart final girl, man, because she actually pulls the van keys out of her pocket and stabs him in the hand, which, lets her go.
Yeah, and then we see that number 13 on the key ring, I think.
Yep, and you know what that is because you told me.
Yeah, I think that was the suitcase number that she held in Deal or No Deal.
Which is cool because, right when you see it, you go, number 13.
Yep.
Well, the cat and mouse scenes continue, right? She hides in a few places, which include a kitchen. And in this scene, it was really particular for me because I don't know if they were going for it, but I got complete vibes. I'm just going to say it, it's my word, of the first Jurassic Park where Lex is hiding in the kitchen from the Velociraptors. I was feeling that.
Definitely could relate to that, yeah.
And the movie's going to get a little sleazy again because once she tries to escape the kitchen, El Mascarado's there, chases her outside. She does cleverly hide in a barrel filled with water. I would have never done that because I fucking hate being in water. But I say it's sleazy because they go out of your way to remind you, like, oh, hey, she's wearing a white tank top and then she's in some Daisy Dukes, which is really funny because I thought it had been Dallas Dukes, not Daisy Dukes. But anyway, yeah, we get some of those scenes. And so, yeah, you know what you're in for with this kind of movie. And she decides that she is going to make a run for the van. So I'm like, great. She's going to get the fuck out of here. Very smart. She gets to the van. She goes to start it. And that's when she's like, oh yeah, the keys are in El Mascarado's hand. She can't start the van. And so out of frustration, she like slams her hands on the dash. And I don't know how this would work, but somehow it turns the headlights on, but I'm okay with it because what it does show us is a really cool scene of El Mascarado standing right there outside the van, very much like a Leatherface or Winnie the Pooh type scene.
Oh.
And so, Andy, since she can't start the van, she's going to run away. But her shorts pocket gets caught on the door handle, and as she runs, rips her shorts off. So here we are now, wet white tank top and her underwear. And you can say what you want about this scene, but dude, I swear to God, I have several times had my pocket get stuck on like the handle of the door or like the armrest of the door or something. So it never ripped my shorts off, but I could totally relate to getting snug on something like that and being like, damn it. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, well, I've actually had my pants ripped off once.
Really? What by who?
So I was by myself, actually. I did it to
Okay.
myself. So I had my hands in my pockets and they were like dress slacks. And this kid comes up behind me and I'm kind of ticklish. And he comes up behind me and just starts trying to tickle me in my and I lift my hand. Just a knee jerk reaction. I just raise my hands up, but they're still in my pockets, and so it actually rips the pants all the way down the seams, down the side of the leg, and so like I have to like hold my pants together and walk to my car and drive home.
Okay, wait
And
a
it wa-
second. So I'm picturing this as a kid, bro. You said you walked to your car. How old were you when this
oh
happened?
no, I was an adult when this happened. Yeah,
That makes it better.
yeah.
Oh,
No, I was
greatness.
standing in a parking lot with split pants on both sides. Had to hold them together and walk
That's
to
when
my
Andy says, "Screw you guys, I'm going home."
Yeah, basically that's what happened. Yeah. It
That's
was ridiculous, but it's
I'm
a funny
sorry that
story.
that happened, but yes, it is a very funny story. All right. Well, she runs into a building and she actually finds herself in that same room that has the faces on the walls. And she finds the defaced body of Debbie. But we get a jump scare because Fats is still alive. And he grabs her by the ankle, which causes her to fall down. But he's just letting her know with his dying words and his faceless head that she must, to defeat him, take his mask off. And so at least now she, because she hasn't been in this movie up until this point, she missed all the action earlier. So she knows how she must win. But we'll see if she's able to do that. We hear that pipe dragging. And so that we know that El Mascarado is getting close. But Andy, this is pretty cool. She finds a really cool weapon of her own. Get like a board with giant nails coming out of. I don't know what you would use
Oh
with
yeah,
these
that's right.
giant
Yeah.
nails. It kind of was reminding me of the nail that went into the dude's throat earlier, but my
Yeah.
goodness, you got some like Negan slash Saw 2 vibes going on here. And I wonder if she's going to be able to put it to good use. And I'm here to tell you she is, man, because he enters the room. She hides behind the door and then she plants that board right between his shoulder blades and he drops the pipe and then she picks the pipe up and she impales him with it. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like she is doing this thing.
Yeah. I thought that was gonna be it, but nope.
Well, no, because remember, she's got to remove his mask. And so he's
Oh, that's
basically
right.
dead, right? He's impaled. So she reaches over to unmask him. But Andy, I'm guessing this dude is got superpowers. He must be invincible because he starts removing that own pole from his stomach. And I was like, oh shit. And but this bought enough time because she did notice that those keys were still jabbed in his hand. And so she grabs those keys and she makes a run for it. And she's running through that building. She sees the front doors, they're wide open. You can see the van outside, the headlights are on, things are looking really good. But for some reason, as she starts running towards those doors, I can't explain it, but those doors, they slam shut. But that's when the camera angle changes. And then we do this thing that we did earlier where now we flipped and we're outside the building and things are looking a little too familiar.
Yeah, we kind of get taken back to that first shot that we get at the very beginning of the movie. And
Yeah,
this
I'd
was a little
forgotten all about it.
yeah, yeah. This was a little confusing to me. I was like, because whenever the kind of zooms out or we see that she actually has been impaled with the pipe that
Yeah.
Dallas
And
has.
right. And but it's cleverly done because in the beginning, when it opens with this scene, you see her running out and screaming, and we just assume she's running away from something she just survived. But the reality is, no, she's running and screaming because she lost. Like El Mascarado at some point before she made it out of those doors was able to stab that same pipe through her back and out her stomach. And this is the end of the movie, man. She like falls down and essentially just dies kneeling over that pipe. I felt terribly bad for her, but at the same time, it's always cool when the villain wins and defeats everybody. And El Mascarado shows he ain't no bitch, man, because he actually steals the van that she fixed, all while fleeing the scene and jamming out to the theme song of the movie. And Andy, we get one of my most favorite things in movies ever, which are like freeze frame credits of actors. And I
Oh
gotta
yeah.
say, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. They were showing us all the different actors in the movie. I kind of like that too. It's kind of a throwback kind of thing, but yeah, it's cool. And then you see the El Mascarado like driving off in the van, and who knows where he's gonna go next.
Yeah, to the sequel that didn't happen, but it was planned.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was great to rewatch it, and I watched it twice for this podcast, and I gotta say, it actually got better the second, which in hindsight was my third time seeing it, because I think once you really fall into understanding what the movie is, just taking it for what it's worth at face value, pun intended. But I like it, man. It's just sits right up there with just a fun slasher.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun movie. You just kind of turn your brain off. You don't have to think about it too much.
It's one that, like, I can't say I'd recommend it to everybody, but if you know your target audience, you got friends who typically love slashers, especially the ones that we mentioned, I think it's definitely worth the watch. And I'm gonna go ahead and out Renee right now. I told him to watch it, and so he did. I just don't think he liked it as much as I did.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was wondering if he was going to check it out because of Rey Mysterio Sr.
Yeah, and he tends to try to watch the movies before we podcast on them, but
Yeah.
this is one that I told Julie about it, and she's like, I'm good. So she's just going to hear this
Yeah.
episode, and we'll see if it makes someone to watch it or not. Well, I don't know, but I'm glad we covered it, and it was my
Yeah.
pick, and so I can't wait to see where we go from here, because the next, well, actually, now that I say that out loud, the next time we do a movie review, it will be your pick. But before we do that, we realized it's our 1-year anniversary of Scream and Skull podcast next time
That's
we come
right.
around.
Yeah, that's exciting.
You want to tell everybody what we decided to do?
Yeah, so a few episodes ago, we did a Ask Me Anything episode where we asked the listeners to ask us questions, and we had some pretty good questions brought up there. But this time for our anniversary episode, we are going to ask each other questions, and we're going to go ahead and give each other our questions ahead of time. There's no surprises, but there's going to be a mix of, for me anyway, there's going to be a mix of like some horror related stuff, some personal stuff, maybe some funny stuff too. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun episode. We're going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary and kind of look forward to more good times to come.
Yeah, I was already ready to be like, Andy, it's your pick for the next episode. And when I looked at my calendar, I was like, holy shit, dude, we've almost been doing this for a year. We got to pause and celebrate. And we tried to think about what to do. And though we could easily just pick a movie, there's nothing super special about a 1-year anniversary episode of picking a certain movie, because every movie we do is one we pick that we want to do. And so,
Yeah.
Something felt personal about just asking questions to each other. And obviously, we're going to mix the horror and the comedy together. It's going to be a good time, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. It gives us a tad break on notes, which is always nice. But yeah, hopefully we can make a lot of fun out of it. We'll crack open some energy drinks or Mountain Dews or something, ask these questions, entertain some people, and then prepare for the next episode. And so, as always, man, we love doing this, and we love hearing from you guys. And so if you follow us out there, hit us up, let us know what you thought about the episode. We don't have a lot of reviews, and that's okay. But, if you want to give us a review, we would love to see it. Otherwise, the interaction that we get from you guys on TikTok has been a blast. And, we got the Instagram and the Facebook page too. But if nothing else, my gosh, we're having fun watching these horror movies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it for me.
All right, cool. Well, I'm probably going to go get my face ripped off. So until next time, I'm Phantom Dark Dave.
And I'm Abnormal Andy.
Thanks for listening to the Scream and Skull podcast.